BFTB, best fight the best. So, um, I wanted to wait a little bit to do my Kovalev versus later Alvarez post fight review. I wanted to wait because I don't like Kovalev. You know what I'm saying? And I wanted to be unbiased about the situation. So I wanted to, I recorded it and I wanted to watch it a few more times before, I actually got in and made my post fight reaction. So what I will say is, before later Alvarez and Kovalev were even matched to fight each other, before there was either even any kind of talk about them fighting. You know what I'm saying? Before any of that even happened, I had this fucking bump on my head. The fuck, whatever. But before that even came to fruition, when later Alvarez was still, when he was still Adonis Stevenson's mandatory. You know what I'm saying? Like a year and some change ago, I thought later Alvarez would beat Kovalev, and I remember posting comments about it, and people were like, "Oh, you're on crack." It's the normal shit. You're on crack. You're smoking. Later, Kovalev will beat the shit out of later Alvarez. Alvarez isn't even that good. Who did he fight? Yeah, the normal stuff. But for me, I just thought later Alvarez was a better boxer. I thought that his youth and experience would be the key over Kovalev. You know what I'm saying? But again, I didn't want to be, because I don't like him. You know what I'm saying? Because of the bullshit that he was saying with the war buildup and some shit before that too. Like, I don't like Kovalev. And I had him ranked. I had him in my top 5 pound for pound at the time. But that's just being unbiased. But like I said, I don't like Kovalev, so I wanted to wait before I made this video, before I made my post-fight reaction, because it probably would have came. Well, I don't really care when it comes off, to be very biased, but and sometimes I do, and for this case I did, because other fighters like Anthony Joshua, I don't like him. You know what I'm saying? So my post-fight reaction for him, but I disdain him. So my post-fight reaction for him is going to be immediate. If he gets his ass whooped by Povetkin, immediate. Immediate, without question. But for Kovalev, you know what I'm saying, I used to like him a lot, and then I stopped liking him. So I wanted to make sure that I actually gave this video the unbiasedness that I feel it deserves. Now, I don't like Harold Letterman at all. I think his fucking commentating is absolute trash. So at first I'm like, dang, maybe he's spot on. To be honest, it was super weird because the aggression was for Kovalev, but the cleaner shots, the cleaner, harder shots with the later Alvarez. So I watched it. At first, I had the first time I seen it, I actually had Kovalev up. Before 4-2, I had Kovalev up 5. Yeah, 4-2, 4-2 before the knockout. I had him up 4-2. So I had to rewatch it because the first 2 fights. I mean, the first 2 rounds were sort of feeler rounds almost. But then when you look at it, the first round, later Alvarez did more. You know what I'm saying? He landed more. Now the pressure was always with Kovalev, but it later landed more. So the first round was clearly later Alvarez's round. The second round to me was Kovalev's round. Kovalev landed more. The third round, you could have went either way. And what I tended to do is since you could have went either way, I tended to lean towards the champion. That was my first go around. I had the third round for Kovalev because you tend to lean toward a champion when they're close. And then the fourth round I had for Alvarez because I think he picked it back up. The fifth round I had for Kovalev, and the sixth round I really had for Kovalev too. So then it went, I'm like, well, let me go look at this again, and then I looked and I'm like, wait a minute now. You got to look at how we're scoring this fight, how we're judging, how are you scoring fights? You know what I'm saying? And if you're going off, the rules of scoring fights, then Kovalev Later and Kovalev were tied to me. It was a three. It was three, three. No, I'm sorry, 3-3 before the knockout, and just based on the clean shots, because. And then I watched it again, So the first time I watched it, I had it 4-2 for Kovalev. The second time I watched it, I had it 3-3. And then the third time I watched it, I was back to my original 4-2. So I'm like, shit. However you want to look at it, I mean, I think I'm my original 4-2 with Kovalev, because I felt like his aggression was actually effective. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you look at the punches that were landing, if you're saying like the cleaner, harder shots, you can say later was more precise with his shots. He was more precise, so his were more cleaner and harder. And then you can say effective aggression, and you can say Kovalev effective aggression was better than the later Alvarez. So then here you go. So you have the points, you have the cleaner, harder shots, later Alvarez. You have the effective aggression, you have Kovalev. And then you have defense. Well, if you're looking at the defense, that was a later Alvarez. So then when you're looking at those, you have to go back and say, okay, well, let me look at these rounds again. And ring generalship. Well, ring generalship, you're looking at ring generalship and you're saying, okay, well, that's Kovalev, because Kovalev, put him where he wanted to put him and he was landing shots. The problem was Kovalev's power wasn't as debilitating as it was prior to. Andre Ward took a lot out of him. You know what I'm saying? Andre Ward took a lot out of Kovalev, man. He took a lot out of him. And I made a post about this on 78th the General. I made a post on this. I say, you know how Kovalev was talking about, he's going to retire Ward. I think Andre Ward officially retired Kovalev. He took a lot out of him, man. Those body shots, debilitating, and not just the body shots. The body shots is what gave Andre Ward the victory. You know what I'm saying? But it's the losses, the two losses. Those are crippling mental effects on Sergey Kovalev. Kovalev really never did have really good defense. You know what I'm saying? His defense was his offense. He got you out of there before you could do anything to him, and his power assisted him in doing that. Well, not assisted him. That was it. He was a good boxer. You know what I'm saying? But he was never some guy that would just thoroughly outclass somebody based on a strictly boxing skill. Kovalev always had the power to negate your another fighter's superior boxing skills. And there's plenty of people that were more superior than him. But overall, he was better than them. Overall. Because B-Hop was clearly more superior than him. But overall, you know what I'm saying? Overall, Kovalev was better, because he had that power, and you have to put that power in the equation when it comes to talking about these fights. So, but with a later Alvarez was able to, take that power, and I think Kovalev hurt it later a couple times. I thought I saw him wobble a couple times, but his chin was able to hold up, and he actually came back into him, and like that's it. And those when you're a big puncher and you're known as a big puncher and you're catching somebody and you hurt them, but they're still coming back at you, they're not, their legs are solid, you know what I'm saying? Their eyes are not glazed over, they're still coming at you. It's like, damn, okay, I know that was a good shot, and normally that's a shot that gets people out, but this guy's still coming at me and telling me to come on. And then, normally people, the people that get hurt and they try to put on that facade like, oh yeah, come on, and then the next time you hit him again, it's like, yeah, I see that. So you're telling me to come on, but you're only doing that as a front, you know what I'm saying, to try to get me out of my sight, mess up with my mind. But and later actually was saying, come on, he got hit again and was still there. That shit fucks you up if you're a known puncher. When you hit somebody good, boom, and you see you wobble them a little bit, you hurt them a little bit, and then they're like, come on, you're like, okay, you've been in the game long enough to know that they're trying to psych themselves out. So you hit him again, boom, and it doesn't finish him, it doesn't buckle him again. You're like, wait a minute, and he's still saying, come on, and he's coming at you. Now you're thinking like, bruh, fuck did I just get into? But I'm looking at this one and I'm like, I picked the later a long time ago, and they weren't scheduled to fight. But when I picked the later to beat Kovalev, I just thought he was just better at that time. So But I got a lot of stick for that. I got a lot of shit for people talking about, you know, the fuck you talk about, blah, 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 Kovalev, this, Kovalev. Most of them were just racist people that didn't like the fact that I wasn't picking a white guy, but whatever. Whatever. There were some people that, you know, actually just didn't agree with me based on boxing, blah, 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 but whatever. That was then, this is now. I didn't do a post-fight reaction, I mean, a post-fight, no, a pre-fight video, as I had some other things going on, and it sort of hindered my ability to do so, and I really wanted to. For this one. And it sucked because I wanted to go to Jersey for this one. You know, it's not even that far from me, and I missed it because the things I had going on. But whatever. Salute to Later. You know what I'm saying? He deserved it. He deserved this title shot. He's been avoided, and now although some of this is his fault because he took the step aside money from Adonis, but I think he would have beat Adonis Stevenson. I really do. I think he would. I thought he would have beat him way back then. I think he'd still beat him now. The problem that I have with them is, well, actually, I don't really have. I used to have the problem that I used to have with that was that the fear of the unknown. It was like when that left hits him, what is he gonna do? And then I saw Kovalev hit him nice, and he was still there. And I think Kovalev and Adonis's punching power is comparable. Now, I definitely give Adonis's left more, more prestige over Kovalev's his punches, but not by much. And sometimes it's all it takes is that little bit more for it to be the difference. But I still think a later beats him. I think a later beats Bivol. I think Bivol is just the same fighter as Kovalev, just younger. That's all I see when I look at Bivol. Bivol is a younger version of Kovalev. I still think Elater beats him. I think at this current moment, Elater is the best fighter in the division. So I think the fight that will determine who is not Bivol. I think it's going to be Vodzik. I think that's who it is between later Alvarez or Vodzik. You can quote me on that. This is what I think. I think Vodzik beats Adonis Stevenson because I think he's a better fighter. You know what I'm saying? I think he's overall Adonis has a debilitating killer left, but that's all he has. Badu Jack was beating that ass. You know what I'm saying? And I think Badu Jack, had he turned it on a little bit more, he probably would have stopped Adonis Stevenson. But I think the fight at the light heavyweight division is between Vodzik and Elater Alvarez. Now, to go into my biasness for Kovalev, fuck Kovalev. I'm glad he got his ass beat. You know what I'm saying? He's a fucking cocky, racist piece of shit. You know what I'm saying? And I'm glad he got what he had coming to him. That's what he gets. You know what I'm saying? His ass is running around talking about how he was cheated and how he's going to retire Ward and how he wasn't cheated. Give a fuck what y'all say. He was not cheated. You can't look at the first Ward Kovalev fight and say, oh well, Kovalev knocked him down, so that should have been the determining factor. No, that's a 10-8 round is what that is. That's all that is. Nothing more. So y'all can say what y'all want. Kovalev got his ass whipped, and then the second time he made it a non-question. And the punch that Ward, that straight right that Ward gave him on his chin, boom! And when it started the Kovalev downfall, that showed its ugly head again. It reared its head in this fight. That showed that Kovalev's chin was cracking. It was cracked. His chin was cracked in that fight, and he never recovered. That right that Ward landed on him cracked his chin, and he never recovered from it. Never. He never recovered. He hasn't been the same fighter since, and he will never be the same fighter. He is officially retired. Don't matter. From this point on, it's his absolute downfall. Kovalev just needs to just hang it up. He fucked up already being with Duva because she fucking paying his ass pennies while she's paying herself a lot and talking like it's everybody else's fault. So he fucked up even being there because he should have a lot more money than what he has right now. He should have a lot for being such a high fucking level prize fighter. You know, fighting all the people that he was fighting. Combining the titles and not being afraid to fight people. I mean, he should have a lot more money than he does. but she fucked him over on that one. But I mean, he allowed it. Um, but still, salute to later Alvarez. I think he put up a valiant effort. He showed that he is a true champion. He showed the reason why Adonis Stevenson was paying him step aside money for so long, which he was stupid for taking all that fucking time. But I mean, shit, when you get offered a shitload of money to do nothing, yeah, that's a tempting proposition that a lot of people are going to take, and later Alvarez took. So I can't really say he was stupid to do nothing, because he was getting paid to do nothing. He was just getting paid to just stay home. You know what I'm saying? If you're getting paid to stay home and do nothing, a couple $100,000, then it is what it is. Or damn near 100,000 or whatever to do nothing. That's a dope come up. You know what I'm saying? But whatever. So again, we got a new unified champ. Although I don't know why they say unified, because he only has one belt. The IBA belt ain't no fucking main title. If that's the case, you could put the NABF title in there and all these other fucking titles. But whatever. He's got one belt. They try to say unified to give Kovalev more prestige, but since they tried to say that before the fight, they have to say it after the fight. You know what I'm saying? Which is giving later Alvarez more prestige to be a unified light heavyweight champion. So salute to later. It couldn't have happened to a better guy, and the ass whooping that Kovalev got couldn't have happened to a more shittier guy. So I'm good and happy on both ends. And I'm just waiting to see what's next for later. Hopefully he gets his long-awaited shot with Adonis, and if not, then he should go after Bivol. They were fought in the same card for a reason. They were probably trying to set up the, Bivol Kovalev fight next, which is the same shit that they did with fucking punk ass Joshua Povetkin, put him on the same card to try to, build the hype so they could fight next. So if that's what they were going to do then they should do it now still. And it'd probably be more inclined for Bivol to fight a later Alvarez, because he said he really wasn't that interested in fighting Kovalev, fighting his Russian countryman. So now that it's not a Russian guy with the other titles, let's go, Bivol. And I think Bivol gets knocked out. I think he gets knocked out. He didn't look too good to me against Chilemba, although Chilemba makes everybody look bad to a certain degree. Chilemba didn't have the aggressiveness or power to go after, and I don't think he has. Well, he has a good chin, but I think Bivol is not going to be able to handle what later Alvarez is going to bring to the table. So I hope that's the fight I want to see next, and then I want to see Adonis Stevenson and Volcic, so then they could get that out of the way, and then I want to see those guys fight. I want to see if my prediction is right, and I think later Alvarez versus Volcic is the fight. And now that one, I don't know who's going to win that one. That one I don't know, because Volcic is a good ass fighter, but whatever. So shout out to later Alvarez, and I'm glad Kovalev got knocked out. It couldn't happen to a more shittier person. BFTB, and I'm out.